The stars shimmered outside the wide viewports of the patrol ship Horizon. Wind as it drifted near the edge of the Orion Rift. This area of space was feared by most travelers. Ships that entered it either never came back or returned empty, damaged, or cursed. The crew of the Horizon Wind had no plans to go in. But that changed when a strange signal arrived. Commander Laura Mason stood in the control room, arms crossed, eyes focused on the screen. The signal was repeating every 10 seconds, low and broken, but definitely artificial. It didn't match any known Federation distress call. Could it be a trap? Asked Ben Carter, the ship's pilot. He leaned forward in his seat, trying to clean up the static from the transmission. Zoe Flint, the engineer, didn't like it either. No ship should survive long in that radiation field. Something's off, Laura thought for a moment. They were under strict orders not to enter the dead zone, but the code embedded in the signal looked old, like something from the early colonization era. She tapped her comm. Change course. We're going in. Gasps and protests filled the room. But Laura was firm. We're a scouting unit. If that's a lost ship or survivors, it's our duty to check. The ship's engines hummed louder as it turned toward the dark, twisted stretch of space. Gravity waves warped the stars ahead. Static danced across the screens as they moved deeper. Systems began to flicker. Lights dimmed. Shields weakened. Zoe worked hard to stabilize the ship. Ben kept the controls steady, though sweat ran down his neck. I've never seen space look like this, he muttered. Then, suddenly, the ship's proximity alarm screamed. Out of the dark, something huge drifted past them. A vessel. Is that a ship? Zoe asked, eyes wide. It was massive. Black hull, sharp edges, and strange patterns carved into the metal. Most of the outer plating was scorched or cracked. And yet, it floated calmly through the radiation storms like a ghost. Ben turned the lights. Toward the hull. The words were hard to read, but they were there, scratched and faded, in Earth English. Walker. Laura's heart skipped a beat. That name didn't belong to any known Federation or alien registry. She quickly called up the ship's archive database. Nothing. Not a single record of a ship by that name. It's human, she whispered. But from where? From when? The Dustwalker didn't answer their hails. No lights came on, no movement, yet life support showed minimal power. That meant there could be someone or something still inside. Zoe frowned. This thing looks ancient, like it's been drifting for centuries. Laura's instincts screamed caution, but her curiosity and duty won. Prep a boarding party. We're going over. Ben and Zoe exchanged nervous looks, but they obeyed. Ryan Stone, the ship's security officer, joined them. He double-checked their weapons and oxygen packs. Within minutes, the small team boarded the shuttle and floated toward the silent giant. As they docked, the Dustwalker's outer hatch creaked open like it'd been waiting. They stepped into the airlock. The metal beneath their boots groaned. The hallway inside was dark, lit only by their helmet lights. Strange symbols were scratched into the walls. Some looked human, others not. The team moved slowly. Dust floated in the air, untouched for ages. Every corridor told stories, frozen bloodstains, broken panels, burn marks. But no bodies. Where's the crew? Ryan whispered. Zoe found a control room. She tried to power it up. The systems flickered, then came alive in a strange mix of old Earth tech and unknown alien designs. She pulled up the ship logs, but most were corrupted. Ben called them from a nearby chamber. You'll want to see this. They entered a sealed room. Inside were several cryopods. Most were empty or broken, but one was still active. Inside was a woman, frozen in time. Her features were human, her uniform torn but clear. A dog tag hung loosely around her neck. It read, Captain Elena Brooks. She's been asleep a long time, Zoe said softly. Laura looked at the pod readings. The cryo system was failing. If they didn't act now, she'd die in minutes. Bring her back to the horizon wind, now. They carefully moved the pod, floating it back through the corridors. As they left, Zoe looked back at the Dustwalker. Something about that ship felt alive, like it was watching them, back on the horizon wind. They connected the pod to their medbay. The system began to warm her up. Her heart rate was slow but steady. Lavra watched closely. This woman could hold the answers to hundreds of questions. Ben leaned closer. What if she's not happy to see us? Lavra replied, We'll find out soon. As the Dustwalker drifted silently behind them, unknown to all, its internal lights blinked faintly once, then twice, as if waking from a long sleep. The moment Captain Elena Brooks opened her eyes, alarms started going off in the medbay. Her body jerked as she gasped for breath, then coughed violently. Medical drones rushed in, scanning her vitals. Her muscles were weak, her skin pale, but her eyes were full of fire. Lavra stood nearby, watching silently. Elena's first words were, rough and confused, where am I? Who are you? Ben stepped forward slowly. You're safe, Captain. This is the patrol ship Horizon Wind. We found your ship in the Orion Rift. Elena sat up too fast and groaned in pain. The rift? Then the Dustwalker made it out. The data? Lavra tried to calm her. We found your ship, but it's damaged and mostly offline. We brought you here to help. Do you remember what happened? Elena looked around, confused and wary. What year is it? It's 317 years since the fall of Earth's outer colonies. Lavra replied softly. Elena froze. Her hands trembled. 300 years? No. It can't be. We were just trying to escape the battle. I was leading a diversion. We were bait. Zoe entered the medbay, holding a datapad. We accessed some parts of your ship. The systems are strange, but your tech is ahead of anything we've seen. And your whatever remains of it, blocked us from the core. Alana's expression changed. Her soldier instincts returned. Then I need to get back on the Dustwalker. Now, you don't understand. That ship holds more than old tech. It holds secrets the galaxy forgot. Lavra nodded. She had already made the decision. We'll go with you. But this time you lead. They took a small team again. Laura, Ben, Zoe, Ryan, and now Elena. When their shuttle redocked with the Dustwalker, Elena stepped aboard like a ghost returning home. Her hands ran along the walls, still cold, but still. Here, she whispered. She led them deeper into the ship, past areas they hadn't explored before. Lights flickered as she restored partial power using strange gestures and commands in a forgotten language mix. Doors opened. Halls lit up. The Dustwalker was responding to her. The ship recognizes my command codes, Elena explained. It's part biotech. It bonded with us back then to protect against swarm infiltration. Ryan frowned. Swarm? What is that? Elena didn't answer directly. They were the reason we ran, you'll see. If the ship kept its records. They reached the command deck. It was shaped like a spearhead, sleek and different from any ship bridge the crew had seen. Zoe stared at the panels, glowing with strange scripts. This is insane, she said. Half the tech here feels alive. Elena sat in the captain's chair, and a low hum filled the room. The ship seemed to breathe again. A voice echoed through the speakers. Captain Elena Brooks, command codes confirmed. Systems rebooting. Core defenses offline. AI Sentinel-9 in partial recovery mode. Ben stepped back. Your ship has an AI this advanced? Elena nodded. Sentinel-9 was one of Earth's last defense projects. It learned from the enemy, adapted, evolved. But we never had time to finish it. We left during the collapse of the outer defense rings. Suddenly the ship shook. Lights turned red. An alarm blared in the command deck. The external sensors flickered on, showing small vessels approaching fast. Zoe scanned the incoming ships. They're not Federation, not even Council design. Elena's eyes narrowed. They followed the signal. We were warned this could happen, Lavra shouted. Get back to the shuttle now. But Elena stood her ground. No, let me try something. She slammed her hand down on a control panel. The screen showed the outside. The Dustwalker's defense systems came online. Hidden weapon pods along the hull rotated and charged. Turrets emerged from the underbelly. Ryan watched in shock. That's more firepower than 3 battleships combined. The alien ships opened fire, but the Dustwalker's shields absorbed the hits. The warship responded with a beam of burning blue light that sliced one attacker clean in half. The other ships fled. The battle was over in seconds. Zoe turned to Elena, stunned. That wasn't just defense. That was revenge. Elena sat back in the chair, breathing hard. I told you, this ship remembers everything. And now, it's awake again. Lerva stepped forward. What exactly is in that data vault you spoke about? What are we sitting on? Elena looked at them all with serious eyes. Not just the history of a lost war, but a warning. And a map to a place that no longer exists on galactic records. Ben asked, You mean Earth? Worse, Elena replied quietly. I mean the thing that made Earth disappear. The crew stood silent as the Dustwalker slowly powered up around them, like a giant stretching after a long, haunted sleep. Captain Elena Brooks stood on the bridge of the Dustwalker, her legs slightly shaky but her mind sharp. Her eyes moved across the control panels as if she were waking up a sleeping beast. The ship responded to her touch, lights turning on one by one, systems humming with new energy. The rest of the crew stood behind her, watching in silence. Lavra, Ben, Zoe, and Ryan knew this was not just any ship. It was something lost to time, something dangerous. Elena turned to them. We need to unlock the data vault. It holds the final records from Earth's last war. We were tasked to carry the knowledge of every battle, every loss, every secret weapon. And the truth of what happened to Earth, Zoe frowned. Why lock it away? Because knowledge is power, Elena said, and some power is too dangerous. We couldn't let it fall into enemy hands. So we sealed it inside this ship, hidden deep in the Orion Rift. Ben glanced at the cracked windows of the bridge. You've been asleep for over 300 years. You think that enemy still exists? Before Elena could answer, the ship's AI Sentinel-9 spoke in a deep mechanical voice. Warning. External scans confirm presence of Catharin swarm residue within nearby debris field. Probability of pursuit, 87%. Ryan stepped forward. What's the Catharin swarm? Elena's face darkened. The enemy we never defeated. They don't speak. They don't reason. They consume. Flesh, metal, planets, everything. A quiet chill spread through the room. Sentinel-9 continued. Secondary. Protocol requires data vault access. Authorization needed. Elena placed her hand on the console. A light scanned her palm. The floor beneath them vibrated as a hidden chamber opened behind the captain's chair. Inside was a dark hallway leading deeper into the core of the Dustwalker. The crew followed her carefully. The walls were covered in strange black armor. The air was dry and cold. Red lights blinked slowly, like heartbeat monitors. They reached the vault, a round metal door with glowing runes and ancient Earth symbols. This is it, Elena said. No one has opened this since the day Earth disappeared. Lavra raised an eyebrow. Disappeared? What do you mean? Elena looked back at them. You think Earth was destroyed. But it wasn't. Earth cloaked itself, vanished from all known coordinates. That was our last trick, our last hope, and it worked. For a while, she placed her hand on the door. The runes lit up. The vault opened with a heavy hiss. Inside were data crystals, neatly stored in rows, each marked with a symbol. Holograms hovered above them, showing maps, battle records, and the faces of soldiers long dead. Zoe picked one up carefully. These. Are stories from a war the galaxy forgot? Elena nodded. And now you'll understand why the Dustwalker was hidden. Suddenly, the ship's lights flickered. Sentinel-9's voice boomed again. Multiple warp signatures detected. Unidentified ships. Entering Orion Rift. Estimated arrival, 4 minutes. Ben rushed to the bridge. They followed us, just like you said. Elena and Lavra sprinted after him. On the main screen, a cluster of dark ships appeared, strange shapes with jagged wings and glowing purple engines. Their formation was tight. Aggressive, swarm scouts. Elena muttered. They must have tracked the signal you triggered when opening the pod. Lavra activated the Horizon Winds emergency beacon. We can't fight them alone. Maybe the Federation can send help. They won't arrive in time, Elena said quickly. We need to defend ourselves. Sentinel-9, activate partial combat systems. Combat systems online. Weapon calibration, 62%. Hull integrity, 48%. Tactical advantage, minimal, Ryan. Groaned. We're outgunned, but Elena smiled. We have something they don't. We remember. The Dustwalker rose slowly, like a giant waking up. Its engines roared. Turrets extended from the sides, shields activated. The old warship was coming. Back to life, the first swarm ship fired a barrage of plasma bolts. The Dustwalker's shields absorbed most of them, but a few hits rocked the bridge. Return fire, Lavra shouted. Zoe, now at the weapons console, locked onto the nearest enemy. The ship's cannon unleashed a blast of white energy that tore through. The swarm ship. It exploded in a shower of sparks. Ben shouted, "One down, but more incoming." 2 swarm fighters broke off from the main group and came around for a flank. Ryan fired countermeasures. Explosions filled the space around them. We're not going to make it. Zoe yelled. Suddenly, the AI spoke again. Authorization required to unlock advanced tactical memory code name. Earth's Last Stand, Elena stepped. Forward, authorization granted. Elena Brooks, Captain says Dustwalker. The lights dimmed. The ship stopped moving. Then, everything changed. The Dustwalker moved faster, aiming with inhuman precision. It dodged enemy fire like it could see the future. Every shot landed. 3 more swarm ships fell. What's happening? Ben shouted. Sentinel-9 answered, releasing stored combat memories from Earth veterans. Predictive strike protocol engaged. The crew watched in awe as the old warship danced through space like it was alive. It wasn't just firing weapons. It was remembering war, and it was winning. When the last enemy ship exploded, the Dustwalker powered down its weapons. Silence filled the bridge. Lavra turned to Elena. This ship isn't just a machine. It's a monument. A ghost of Earth's rage. Elena whispered. And now it remembers what we lost. And what we're still fighting for. Behind them. The data vault pulsed with light, waiting for its secrets to be revealed. The Dustwalker floated quietly, the damage on its hull still glowing. From the last battle. Inside, the crew stood around the data vault, the crystals humming softly. Captain Elena Brooks looked at the glowing symbols and chose one marked with a red triangle. She inserted it into the central console. A hologram came. Alive. It showed Earth not destroyed, but cloaked behind a strange dark field. Ships tried to scan it, but failed. Some exploded when they got too close. The Earth they thought was gone was hidden. Ben stared at the image. Earth is alive? This whole time? Elena nodded. That was the final mission. Hide Earth. Protect the last stronghold. Our ship led the swarm away, hoping they'd follow us instead. Lavra crossed her arms. But the signal, the one we followed here. It's not a distress call, is it? No, Elena said, eyes dark. It was a trap, left in case anyone or anything came back. A warning. And now it's calling them again. Zoe looked at the map, watching. Swarm movement patterns. They're converging. That signal woke them up, like sharks smelling blood. Suddenly, the Sentinel-9 spoke. Long-range scans detect multiple fleets approaching from 3 sectors. Estimated time to contact, 8 hours, Ryan cursed. We stirred up a hornet's nest. Elena stepped forward. Then we bury it. We have weapons this galaxy hasn't seen in 3 centuries. And now we have a crew, Ben frowned. You're saying we fight? Just us. Elena turned to him. Not just us. This ship holds data that can change everything. If we get it back to Earth, if we even find Earth, we can bring humanity back. Real humanity. The kind the swarm fears. Laura's face hardened. Then, let's get ready. They moved fast. Elena guided them to old armories and hidden systems. The Dustwalker wasn't just a ship, it was a war library. Auto factories reactivated, building drones and spare parts. The team suited up. Zoe upgraded their shields using lost tech. Ryan tested ancient rifles, surprised at their power. Ben sensed the navigation with Sentinel-9, unlocking flight modes never seen in modern ships. Hours passed quickly. Then the sensors lit up. Contact. Sentinel-9 warned. Enemy vessels approaching. Minimal time for further preparation. Recommend immediate defensive action. The crew ran to the bridge. The starfield outside shimmered as strange shapes emerged, twisted ships. Some shaped like insects, others like spinning blades. The Catharan swarm had arrived. Elena took the helm. Time to show them what Dustwalker remembers. The enemy opened. Fire without warning. Purple plasma bolts raced toward the ship. The first wave slammed into their shields. Alarms blared. Sparks flew from overhead wires. Shields holding, Zoe shouted. But not for long. Ryan returned fire. Their cannons roared, sending bright blue blasts into space. 2 swarm fighters exploded. Ben piloted the ship with Elena beside him. The Dustwalker moved like a beast uncaged, diving and twisting in space with impossible speed. But the swarm kept coming. They were endless. Lavra gritted her teeth. There's too many of them. We need a way out. Elena didn't blink. There is a way. The pulse cannon, hidden in the core. But it hasn't been fired in centuries. It could rip the ship apart, if it malfunctions. Zoe's eyes lit up. I can stabilize the core. If I can get into the engine chamber, I can reroute the power. But I need 10 minutes. You've got 5. Elena replied. Zoe ran from the bridge. Down below, she entered the dark engine room. Pipes hissed. Lights flickered. She opened a panel and worked fast, fingers shaking as she reconnected old circuits. And sang old Earth codes from memory. Back on the bridge, the ship was shaking. Ryan screamed. 3 enemy cruisers approaching. If we don't do something. Then a light turned green. Pulse cannon ready. Sentinel-9 announced. Elena smiled. Target the center ship. Let's end this. A giant weapon extended from beneath. The Dustwalker. Energy gathered at its core, glowing brighter than a star. The swarm cruisers sensed the danger and began to scatter. Fire, Lavra whispered. The pulse cannon unleashed a beam of pure white light. It cut through space, faster than anything natural. The lead cruiser was gone in an instant, melted, vaporized, erased. The shockwave sent the others tumbling. Cheers erupted on the bridge. That worked, Ben said, breathless. That actually worked. We're not done yet, Elena warned. That was just the first wave. And now they know we're awake, Lavra nodded. Then we stop running. We take the fight to them as the Dustwalker. Cooled down, its lights flickered again. A message appeared on the screen. Coordinates. A place deep within the Black Ring Nebula. Is that Earth? Ryan asked. Elena looked at the message. Her voice was soft but certain. It's a call. A recall beacon. Earth is still out there, and it wants us home. The Dustwalker began to turn. Far away, more swarm ships began to gather. But this Time, humanity wasn't hiding, it was coming back. The Dustwalker moved quietly through deep space, leaving the shattered battlefield behind. Inside the ship, the mood had changed. The crew now understood they were part of something much larger than a mission. They were carrying the last piece of old Earth, the truth of what really happened 3 centuries ago. Elena Brooks stood alone. In the data vault, crystals floated around her, each one glowing faintly. She selected a green one and inserted it into the projector. A hologram appeared, showing an old conference room. Generals and scientists sat around a glowing table. One voice echoed from the recording. Project Veil is now active. Earth's surface cloaked. All broadcasts cut. We vanish from the galaxy, or we perish. Ben entered quietly. So it's true. Earth hid itself, but why didn't they come back? Elena didn't look at him, because the swarm wasn't defeated. Only distracted. We led them away. Dustwalkers. Mission was to be bait, a ghost in the stars. Ben frowned. And the Federation? The Galactic Council? Didn't they help? Elena shook her head. They abandoned Earth, said we were reckless, said we were cursed. So Earth vanished and humanity faded from the stars. Until now, Zoe's voice came over comms. Elena, Lara wants you on the bridge. It's urgent. Elena and Ben walked fast. On the bridge, Lara stood beside Ryan, watching the main screen. Dozens of red markers were blinking. More swarm fleets, Ryan muttered. Not just small scouts. These are hive ships. Planet killers, Sentinel-9 added. Signal strength suggests a reawakening of swarm prime intelligence. Likely caused by reactivation of Dustwalker and Data Vault. Elena's stomach turned. They know we're awake. They remember us. And now they're coming. Lara stepped forward. We need to warn the Federation, maybe even the Council. They have to know what's coming. Elena stared at her. They won't believe it. They'll try to stop us. Or worse, destroy this ship. Then we make them believe. Lara said, we show them what we found. They agreed to make contact with a neutral outpost station Delta 12, located on the edge of the Corvus Belt. It was known for trade, diplomacy, and unofficial secrets. If anyone would listen, it was them. The Dustwalker dropped out of warp near the station. Immediately, alerts blared. Federation ships turned their weapons toward them. Unidentified vessel, you are entering restricted space. Identify or prepare for engagement. Lara stepped forward and activated comms. This is Commander Lara Mason of the Horizon Wind. We carry survivors and data from a lost Earth warship. Stand down. There was silence. Then a new voice, deeper and older. This is Admiral Carter from Station Delta 12. Repeat your last statement. Commander, did you say Earth warship? Yes, the Dustwalker. It's real, and Earth never died, Admiral. It hid. The comms went silent again. Then, slowly, the Federation ships backed off. A docking channel opened. Inside the station, Lara, Elena, and Ben walked carefully. People stared at them. No one had seen a real Earth officer in generations. They entered the meeting room. Admiral Carter, gray-haired and sharp-eyed, stood waiting. Elena saluted. Captain Elena Brooks, SS Dustwalker. Confirmed ID Federation code, 12-9XR. Carter's jaw clenched. I read about your mission. You were declared lost. We survived, Elena said, and now we've returned. With proof that the swarm is still alive and coming, Zoe and Ryan arrived with a small holo emitter. They activated it, showing battle footage from the Dustwalker, the swarm ships. The pulse cannon, the data vault. Carter sat down heavily. By the stars. This changes everything. Elena leaned forward. We need ships, supplies. We have a recall beacon. It might lead us to Earth. We need to follow it. If Earth is still out there, it's the only force that can stand against what's coming. Carter hesitated. Many in the Council won't believe. This They'll say Earth is a myth. They'll say you're a ghost. Lavra spoke, then let them call us ghosts. While we save their lives, after a long pause, Carter nodded. I'll give you one ship, one escort. That's all I can risk without alerting the higher ranks. But you better be right. If Earth truly lives, it's time it came back. Back on the Dustwalker, the crew began preparations. The escort ship, a small cruiser called the Resolute, linked up with them. Its captain, a young officer named Marcus Hawley, saluted Elena and joined the journey. As the stars stretched around them in the next warp jump, the Dustwalker pulsed with hidden energy. Sentinel-9 spoke quietly, coordinates locked. Black Ring Nebula, unknown origin beacon active. Elena looked out the viewport. Her voice was steady. We're coming home. And if the swarm follows, they'll find out what Earth really is. The crew stood together, ready for whatever came next. The past had returned, and so had the forgotten threat. The Dustwalker flew silently beside the Resolute as they entered a narrow star corridor leading into the Black Ring Nebula. Though space around them was quiet, tension on board was rising fast. Captain Elena Brooks stood on the bridge, reading intercepted Federation transmissions. Lavra Mason stood beside her, eyes locked on the screen. They know we went to Delta 12. Lavra said quietly, and they didn't like what Carter gave us. We expected this, Elena replied. The Federation was never going to let Earth come back quietly. Sentinel-9's voice cut in. Incoming encrypted message. Priority read. Source, Federation High Command. Ben tapped the console and played it. A sharp voice filled the room. This is Admiral Venn of the Galactic Federation. You are ordered to power down and prepare for inspection. Dustwalker is to be seized and dismantled. Refusal will be treated as treason. Ryan muttered, that didn't take long. Zoe looked from Elena to Lavra. What now? Elena didn't blink. We don't stop. We follow the beacon. Earth is calling. If the Federation wants war, then they've forgotten what Earth made. We'll be outnumbered. Lavra said. They'll send a fleet. Then we show them what the Dustwalker was built for. Later that cycle, a small fleet appeared in the rear sensors. Federation cruisers, destroyers, even a dreadnought. They're serious, Ben whispered. They're bringing the hammer down. Captain Marcus Hawley of the Resolute opened a secure channel. His young face was pale but firm. I got the same message, he said. I'm supposed to stand down. Let them take you. Elena nodded. You have to choose, Marcus. Stay with us and be hunted. Or walk away. He didn't answer at first. Then, my crew believes in something again. They watched your ship fight. They saw the truth. We'll stand with you. Lavra smiled faintly. Then let's earn that loyalty. The Dustwalker and the Resolute turned to face the incoming fleet. The stars flashed as dozens of warships appeared. The comms buzzed. Final warning, said Admiral Venn. Power down or be destroyed. Elena stood tall. This is Captain Elena Brooks of the Earth warship Dustwalker. I fought the swarm before your stars were lit. I remember your ancestors begging for help and hiding when Earth bled. You want this ship? Come and take it. Venn didn't respond. Instead, weapons locked on. Dozens of red beams filled the screen. Brace for impact. Lavra ordered. The battle began. The Dustwalker moved faster than expected. Its ancient design outmaneuvered modern ships, darting between laser fire, shields flaring. The pulse cannon was offline, still cooling, but the railguns and plasma turrets roared to life. The Resolute flanked the Dustwalker, defending its weaker side. Though smaller, it moved with precision under Marcus Hale's command. They disabled 2 cruisers in the first wave, hull damage at 12%, Zoe called out. But we're still in the fight. Ryan fired a missile barrage. A Federation frigate exploded. Ben shouted. Dreadnought is charging its main weapon. Sentinel-9 replied. Target locked. Suggest evasive maneuver Delta 6. Do it, Elena snapped. The Dustwalker spun beneath the Dreadnought's blast, the beam. slicing just behind them. If they'd hesitated, it would have cut the ship in half. Back on the bridge, sweat poured down faces. The crew didn't speak. They fought. Then, something unexpected happened. One of the Federation destroyers stopped firing. Then another. Ben squinted. Are they switching sides? Comms crackled open. A voice came through. This is Captain Lin of the Meridian. We've seen enough. This ship fights like no ghost. We stand with Dustwalker. Cheers erupted on the bridge. Rayan slapped the console. They're waking up. More ships followed. Some disabled their weapons. Others turned against the fleet. Admiral Ven's voice returned, filled with rage. This is treason. You side with traitors and myths, Elena answered calmly. No, we side with truth. And the truth is, we're not alone anymore. The battle ended. Not with destruction, but with a fracture. The Federation didn't lose, but it cracked. Commanders walked away. Ships powered down. Dustwalker survived. After the battle, the crews gathered aboard the Dustwalker. Old enemies sat together, now. Allies, Marcus Halle shook hands with Captain Lin. Stories were shared. Histories remembered. In the command center, Laura looked at the recall beacon still pulsing on the screen. That signal hasn't changed. It's waiting for us. Elena nodded. Then we go. We take our new allies. We finish what was started. Ben asked quietly, do you really think Earth will be there after all this time? Elena looked out at the stars. I don't just think it, I feel it. Earth isn't lost, it's preparing. And when we arrive, the galaxy will see what it means when a Deathworld rises again. Dustwalker and its new fleet turned toward the nebula. The stars twisted ahead, hiding the secret of the last human stronghold. And behind them, the broken Federation watched confused, silent, and no longer whole. The Black Ring Nebula was unlike anything the crew had ever seen. It wasn't just a cloud of dust and energy. It pulsed. Alive, electric, like a living creature guarding something ancient. The Dustwalker floated at the edge, flanked by the Resolute and 4 Federation ships that had defected during the last battle. The crew stood silent, staring at the swirling wall of dark gas and light. Elena Brooks stood at the helm. Her hand hovered above the controls. The beacon pulsed on the screen, one steady blink at a time. This is it, she said quietly. Earth is inside there. Or it's gone for good. Zoe adjusted the sensors. The radiation inside that cloud is off the charts. But there's something strange, like space is folding in on itself. Sentinel-9 spoke. Cloaking energy consistent with Project Veil. Probability of artificial planetary concealment, 94%. Lavra turned to Elena. So Earth built this cloud as a shield. To hide. To survive, Elena replied. And now we're going home. Ben plotted the course. We'll lose communication once we enter. Whatever's in there. We face it alone. One by one, the ships entered the nebula. Stars disappeared. The black mist swallowed them whole. Inside, light bent in strange ways. Shadows moved where nothing was. Strange whispers echoed through the comms. I don't like this, Ryan said, gripping his chair. Hold steady, Elena said. This is what the Dustwalker was made for. Suddenly, alarms screamed. A shape moved through the cloud, a massive form. A swarm hive ship. How did they get here first? Lovra shouted. They must have followed the same signal, Elena said. They know where Earth is. And they want to finish what they started, Sentinel-9. Scanned the vessel. Confirmed. Swarm Queen-class hive ship. Estimated crew, 50,000 units. Weapon capacity, extreme. Can we fight it? Ben asked. Elena stared at the screen. We're not meant to win here. Just survive long enough to wake the giant. Zoe raised her head. I've got an energy surge up ahead. Stronger than anything I've seen. It's not swarm. It's coming from a planet. Elena's eyes lit up. Earth, but it's hidden. Still cloaked, the sensors can't see it. The only reason I know it's there is because something's pushing back against the swarm's interference. The swarm ship opened fire. The first wave of plasma slammed into the Dustwalker's shields. Sparks exploded across the bridge, shields down to 70%. Zoe called out. "Return fire," Elena ordered. The pulse cannon wasn't ready, but the Dustwalker fired its railguns. And plasma beams. The hive ship barely flinched. The Resolute joined in, targeting the engines. The defected Federation ships followed. "We're not doing enough damage," Ryan growled. "It's too big." Then, a miracle happened. The black mist ahead split like curtains. A planet appeared, blue and green, ringed with defense platforms and massive orbital stations. Ships rose from the shadow of the planet, huge, silent, armored in strange metal. Zoe gasped. "Those aren't Federation ships. Those are Earth ships. Real ones." A voice echoed across every channel. It was deep, calm, and filled with quiet power. "This is Guardian Command of Terra Prime. Identify incoming vessel, Dustwalker." Elena stepped forward, voice shaking. "This is Captain Elena Brooks. Reporting for duty after 317 years. The voice paused, then responded. "Welcome home, Captain. We've been waiting." "You brought the enemy with you." "Yes," Elena replied. "But we're ready to fight." The Earth fleet opened fire. Massive beams of white energy shot from Terra Prime's ships. They struck the hive ship like lightning from a god. The swarm's armor cracked, exploded. The hive ship turned to escape, but the Dustwalker and her allies blocked the path. "All ships," Elena shouted. "Focus fire. Earth stands with us now." The combined power of old Earth and the new allies tore the hive ship apart. It didn't explode. It disintegrated. Silence returned. The black cloud began to fade. Earth remained bright, alive, powerful on the bridge. No one spoke. Some smiled. Some cried. Elena sank into her chair. "We made it." Laura turned to her. "What now?" Sentinel-9 answered for them. "Now begins Phase 2, Earth's return." From the planet below, hundreds more ships began to rise. Not just for defense, but for war, Elena smiled. "The galaxy forgot us. But they'll remember soon enough." And above Earth, the Dustwalker turned no longer a relic, but the first of many. Earth's fleet stretched across the orbit like a shining wall of metal and fire. Each ship was massive, forged from alloys no one in the current galaxy could identify. Their design was both beautiful and terrifying, sleek and sharp like ancient weapons, made for a war that never truly ended. The Dustwalker drifted at the front, scarred but proud. Elena Brooks stood on the bridge, staring at the world she once left behind, her home, her mission. Now fully revealed. "We've come full circle," she whispered. Beside her, Lara Mason crossed her arms. "If this is Earth now, the galaxies not ready for what's coming." Sentinel-9's voice echoed calmly. "Incoming message from Terra Prime Command. Stand by for global link." The screen lit up. A tall woman appeared, silver hair tied behind her head, eyes glowing faintly from internal tech implants. Her uniform bore the mark of old Earth, updated but recognizable. "Captain Brooks," she said. "I am Supreme Marshal Nadia Cole. Welcome home." Elena straightened. "I never thought I'd live to see Earth again, ma'am." Nadia nodded slowly. "Because you were never supposed to. Your sacrifice was meant to be final. But against all odds you returned. And with proof that the swarm survived. That changes everything." Lorva stepped forward. "The Federation won't help. They've already tried to silence us." "Then Earth will act," Nadia said. "And this time we're not hiding." Across Earth's orbit, ships powered up. The sky above the planet shimmered as massive slipspace gates formed. Soldiers marched inside floating platforms. Drones swarmed out of carriers like flocks of birds. Elena looked at the others. Ben, Zoe, Ryan, Marcus. and even the former Federation officers who had chosen to stay. All of them watched history waking up. "You're really going to war, Ben?" "Sighed, no," Nadia replied. "We're finishing one." The galaxy didn't wait long to respond. Scouts reported Catherian swarm movements on the edge of known space. Entire colonies were going dark. Civilizations were vanishing again, just like the old days. But this time, Earth wasn't sleeping. The Dustwalker was repaired, refitted, and upgraded with new tech from Terra Prime, ancient weapons fused with future science. Sentinel-9 was given a full system patch. Elena felt like the ship itself was excited. "You've been waiting for this," she said to the AI. "Correct," it replied. "This is my final directive: defend humanity. Reclaim the stars." The final battle began near the edge of the Polaris Rift. The Dustwalker led the first strike. Alongside it, Earth's new fleet. Old Earth soldiers, descendants of survivors, wore black armor lined with glowing blue marks. The sight of them alone spread fear across systems. The swarm came in numbers never recorded. Hundreds of ships, hive queens, bio-beasts larger than space stations. Their roars echoed across frequencies like nightmares made real. Elena gave the order. "Fire everything." The sky turned white. Earth's ships released particle cannons, warp missiles, quantum disruptors. The swarm fought back with acid bolts, gravitational claws, and viral code attacks. Ships died. Friends were lost. But Earth held. The Resolute lost its engines. Marcus Hale ordered an emergency retreat, but stayed behind to draw fire. Zoe kept the Dustwalker's weapons hot. Ryan held the line with the gunnery crew. Ben flew like a ghost, dancing through fire. At the center of it all, the largest swarm queen approached. Her ship was alive, tentacled, oozing, ancient. She aimed straight for Earth. Sentinel-9 calculated the odds. Victory only possible with direct core detonation. Elena hesitated. "You're saying we have to die to win?" "Not necessarily," the AI said. "But someone must get close enough." Larva stepped forward. "We'll get you there." Dustwalker was built for this. The Dustwalker broke formation. Alone, it charged toward the Swarm Queen, dodging tendrils and acidic beams. Earth's fleet opened a path, covering them. The final stretch was chaos light, screens, and debris. Elena reached the Queen's underbelly. "Now, Fire Core, Lance." The weapon released a drill of plasma and fusion energy, piercing the Queen's armor. The beam went straight through. For a second, there was silence. Then the Swarm Queen exploded in a burst of light and shrieking horror. Her remaining ships scattered like frightened insects. The battle was won. Cheers filled the Dustwalker. The Fae crew hugged, cried, and slumped in their chairs. Sentinel-9 turned off all weapons. "Swarm Command has collapsed," it said. "Surviving units in disarray. Earth has secured this region." Nadia's voice returned over comms. "You did it, Captain Brooks. You brought us back. And now we lead again." Elena stood silently, then said, "We're not ghosts anymore. We're the future." The Dustwalker turned slowly, flying back toward Earth. Behind it, the fleet followed. And for the first time in centuries, the stars whispered a new name for power, humanity.